Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. The new in colors, if you haven't heard, are Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, and Misty Moonlight. This right here is the in color DSP. Now you'll have to forgive my little mess here, but I am loving this stuff. There's all these little scraps. I'll take those out and flip through. I already have to order a new pack of this because I'm getting down there to like bare bones. You can tell which colors I love. There's like maybe 2 pieces left of Cinnamon Cider. So I told you that when I reached 1,000 subscribers, I would do a giveaway. And true to my word, I am going to do a giveaway. So to one lucky winner, you are going to receive a package of the 2020-2022 DSP, which is this highly loved bundle of DSP. You are also going to receive the Jar of Flowers stamp set. Not the bundle, just the stamp set. This, I think, is going to be so popular in the new catalog, and I think you're going to want to get your hands on it sooner rather than later. So please see the details below on how to win, and good luck to everyone. So you may notice all this stuff is out, right? Well, that's because that's what I'm creating with today. I should mention that there are 4 different patterns in all 5 colors. There is this fun polka dot pattern. Not sure if you can see it. Focus. So it's like a spotty polka dot. Can you see it? There we go. And then there is this fun denim look. And then there are these tiny little words in a couple of different languages. There is English in there. And then there's this wood pattern on the one side. So all 5 colors have these patterns. Now, while I'm on the topic of in colors, and before I totally forget, I have 2 items that you might be interested in if you live in Canada, which is my market. I can't sell outside of my market. So I have my annual catalog product shares. And this is on my blog, so you can see all of the details there. I'm going to get rid of the one that's in behind it because it's kind of hard to see. So to get a sampling of the designer series papers, and I can't show all of them because I don't have them yet. But you can get 120 sheets cut down to 6x6. Some of them are automatically 6x6, and that is $55 plus shipping if applicable. If you live in the Winnipeg area or you can manage a porch pickup, then there's no shipping. And if you want to get 40 yards samples of the new ribbon, that is $42. And if you want to combine both, it'll be $97, and you will get a special gift from me. So there's a sign up form on my website. I will include the sign up form in the description below. And this is my in color club. So whenever there are new in colors, it can be expensive to get everything. There's cardstock, there's Stampin' Pads, there's ink refills, there's blends, there's Stampin' Right markers, there's ribbon, etc., etc., etc. So if you join my in color club, each month for 5 months, you are going to get everything in one color. So the first month, I'm sorry, I don't have all of these things yet because they're not available. But let's say, for example, we've got Cinnamon Cider. Let's say that's your first month. So you are going to get a full pack, 24 sheets of the cardstock. You are going to get, and let's just pretend that this is the right color, a stamp pad. You are going to get an ink refill. Let's just pretend that's the right color too. You're going to get a Stampin' Right marker. You are going to get a blends combo pack, except for Bumblebee, because Bumblebee is too close to colors that we already have. So in the month that you're receiving Bumblebee, you will be getting a package of the Flowers for Every Season DSP, which is what is shown here. You will also be getting a full bolt of the, as everything falls here, 1/4 inch ribbon. So you will have everything that you need in that color for $62 a month, plus shipping if need be. So the share that I have open currently needs 2 other members. And when that one's full, I can open up others. So there's no limit to how many shares there can be. And again, the forum is on my website and I will link it below as well. So please let me know if you are interested in Color Club or product shares. And you can find everything you need at stampedaf.ca. I'm just going to put all this stuff back. So Cinnamon Cider is by far my favorite. Can you tell? I'm going to start by cutting down my Bumblebee DSP to 4 3/16 by 5 7/16. I'm so sorry to get 1/16 of an inch involved here, but I wanted a very small border around my DSP. I'm now going to use the 3rd largest of the stitched rectangle dies, and I'm going to trim it from only the card front and the DSP. We do not want it to go all the way through the entire card base. I should have run mine back and forth, but I only did it the one time, so here you're just seeing me cut it away. Using the 2nd largest stitched rectangle die, I am cutting out a piece of Whisper White cardstock to insert. This is where I'll be doing all my stamping. I thought about using a stitched rectangle for the window sheet and opted to just cut it. It is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm now going to glue down the part that I'm stamping on. If you would prefer to do your stamping first, by all means. Just buffing out some rough edges. I'm getting my Stamparatus set up, and I'm going to do the stamping with just Memento Black Tuxedo ink because I will be doing some coloring with Stampin' Blends. These are photopolymer and still pretty new, so they're very sticky. So now I decide to adhere that window sheet, and I'm just going to apply some tear and tape to all 4 sides of that stitched rectangle. I would advise that you stay very close to the opening on this rectangle because you have just enough room. Side note, that roll of tear and tape has lasted forever. I got a little bit of ink on the card back, but that's okay. I have a plan for that, and I did from the get-go. So now I'm going to use StazOn ink, and I'm going to stamp those images again. You always want to lift it up to make sure that you've gotten a good impression. And when I do my flowers, I lift it up to make sure I've gotten a good impression. There's one spot on this stamp that doesn't seem to stamp right for me, so I put it down. It did shift the tiniest little bit, but I was okay with it. So I'm just trying to get a stronger impression here by stamping it twice. And now I will clean off my stamps using the StazOn cleaner. It is imperative that if you're using StazOn, you use StazOn cleaner. So now it's time to color. I am using dark pumpkin pie and the Mango Melody Stampin' Blends, the combo pack. Not a whole lot of shading going on, but that pumpkin pie really does bring in a bang. When it was just Mango Melody, it was pretty flat, using soft suede light and dark for the centers of the flowers. And if you're new to blends, you want to work in a small area and you want to work fairly quickly so that that alcohol ink stays wet if you want to blend. If you want to just flat out color, then color on, my friend. I know this is a very fall themed card, but I am loving these sunflowers. Also thinking this is going to be the bundle that I build my bingo around. I have my second online bingo coming up on June 13th. It will be featuring all new catalog products. The goodie bag, the prizes, make and takes will all be new product. So if you live anywhere in Canada and would like to attend, all the information you need is on my Facebook group. Registration is $40. There will be a goodie bag, make and takes, bingo games, and lots of fun. Now with the water, you can use the reverse of the mason jar stamp because it's a reversible stamp set, but I like to color it in using Pool Party. So here you could call your card done right there, but I chose, I mean it's the Magic Slider card, right? So here I'm just going to build my tracks. So this is 2 pieces of very vanilla thick that have been glued together, and I'm now cutting 1/4-inch strips. I will glue them together and then glue them onto the card. This is just to make sure that our insert isn't going to jump the track. And once you make one of these, it will seem so much easier. So I'm just creating a track for the bottom, just so that it doesn't keep going. You could probably just glue it closed, but I didn't want to dip there. So I'm just removing a little bit of ink that I transferred somehow. Has that ever happened to you? I'm now measuring up that insert, and all the measurements for this card will be on my blog post. I will link that in the description below. Here I'm just measuring the little slit that I need to insert the insert. And because I did it right on that score line, there is a little bit of a fuzzy look to it, so I just took my nail buffing block and buffed that out. So you want to test your mechanism before you close anything up. Just adding another little piece to that bottom. It was only 2 pieces thick, and I realize at this point that I need to have a stopper at the bottom so that that card doesn't come all the way out. Not the end of the world if you don't add that, but just know that it will come out of the card. So here I'm just making sure that those pieces don't overlap the side tracks at all, and I think we're good to go. So now you can just add your adhesive, whether that be tear and tape or liquid glue, and we're going to close that up. Now you need to know, I realized at this point I put it backwards. I didn't want to see that little stopper. You need to know that before you get to this point, you can't do any more coloring. The inside of your card is now complete. So if there's anything else you want to do it before you close up that piece. I'm trying to decide here what I want to use as my tab, and I'm using these amazing new dies. You're going to love these, promise you. There's stitching, there's embossing, just fun. So I used a stitched, I don't know what it is, like an arrow. And I'm just trimming off a little bit of the insert. I don't want it sticking up too high. You want to be able to put this into an envelope still. Just adding a bit of tear and tape to that tag. And it's going to take a little bit of working with that track to get it going. Now here's where I said that it didn't matter if I got ink on the back, because I knew all along that I was going to be adhering this to another card base. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I did mention you were going to need 2 very vanilla thick card bases. So I'm now deciding I need some kind of sentiment on the front. I don't want to bury or cover up the mason jar, so I decide I'm going to pull out that same bundle again, and I'm going to cut 2 different dies. And I'm still playing around at this point, but I get that same arrow / banner die, and then that fun little circle. And you'll see, if you go to the blog post, you'll see a close-up picture of it. So I'm just stamping my sentiment from the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set I'm going to die cut both my pieces at the same time. Just so you know, Jar of Flowers and Celebrate Sunflowers are part of the same suite. It's flowers for every occasion. Trying to decide what ribbon I want. There are so many great ribbons that would go, and I finally decided to go with this Bumblebee Gingham ribbon. Cut it from the bolt first and then decided I wanted to do another bow because I prefer to tie them right from the bolt. And of course, tying the bow or a ribbon when you're filming yourself is never as easy as if you were just sitting there crafting. So I'm just adhering that bow with a glue dot, and I will add a couple of the in color enamel dots. And that is pretty much all, my crafty friends. I hope that you enjoyed that video. If you could hit that like button below, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And just a reminder that if you're interested in the product shares and the In Color Club, the link will be below. We will see you soon, my crafty friends. Bye.